Fucker. Welcome. My name is Dean. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you. We're full today. We're full. Please welcome Lachlan Cross from 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton. You can get him at Lachlan Cross on Twitter. Dumb is winning. 2 M's. Ryan Lindley from the Sheeple Shepherd podcast joins us at Ryan Lindley on Twitter. He's also a food blogger. Check out his Diner Burger and get a boner at deanblundell.com. And Bonzi's here from Trippin' with Bonzi. I think that's what it's called anyway. Bonzi's a bit of a fucking renegade, and what he did was decided to rebrand everything that he's doing. Fill us in real quick, Bonzi, before we get going. What on earth would facilitate you going from Bonzi Live to at Bonzi16, and where did you get this outstanding advice to rebrand and not tell anybody?
So listen, it's not really a rebrand. It just was too much. It was at Bonzi Live on Trippin' with Bonzi on YouTube, on the Dean Blundell Network, blah, and then my podcast, I do a separate podcast, was called the Bondcast. So I just thought I'd fucking eliminate those two and let's just make it all one. So now it's Trippin' with Bonzi. But I can't use that at name because it's too long. They won't let me. So it's just my last name. Couldn't even just get at Bonzi. So it's my favorite number, my birthday, at Bonzi16. But everything is now just Trippin' with Bonzi. So it's Trippin' with Bonzi on YouTube and the Dean Blundell Network. The podcast is Trippin' with Bonzi as well. So
this is my fault because I was giving him shit for the lack of consistency between his social media platforms.
Yeah.
When we were chatting last week. So I didn't necessarily mean you had to change it all, but I mean, it does make, I get what you're saying. So this is my fault, Dean. I apologize.
Am I wrong in changing at Bonzi Live on Trippin' with Bonzi?
No.
It's just too much.
You need one. You need one thing for everybody to go to on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitch, on YouTube. It should be the same.
It should, but you can't do it. Lindley, in the world of branding, and you understand branding a little bit.
Yeah.
Is it advisable to grind your brand to a halt 9 months into the exercise? Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
However, he's looking for symmetry. And I get that part of what he's saying. Mm-hmm. But traditionally, when you go out and do a big brand change, you consult people. You don't go, changing it to Bonzi16. Because that's where people got a hold of you for fucking years.
And you would have a campaign working up to it. We're going to do something new. Yeah. You're going to announce it. You're not just going to drop it like a bomb, right? So
barbecue.
Everything has been branded as Trippin' with Bonzi. My logo's Trippin' with Bonzi. Everything is Trippin' with Bonzi. My YouTube.
I like it. I like it. It'll work for you.
To simplify.
It might not work for most humans, but for some reason it will work for you.
But why did you change your Twitter handle?
Because I couldn't keep it at I just figured at Bonzi Live. If I'm trying to get rid of that moniker, it's just everything's Trippin' with Bonzi. If at Bonzi Live is still all over the place.
I get it.
And the majority of my followers came for that's my old handle. And I only flipped it to at Bonzi Live when I started the show a year and 10 months ago.
Oh, so you've done this before.
This is the third chance. I got to go deal with my dog. He's barking like crazy.
Your dog, I can hear him.
It went to the original name of what it was, at Bonzi16. But when you go there, everything is still Trippin' with Bonzi. The logo, everything is Trippin' with Bonzi. I just can't use that handle.
Oh, well, dude, I'm just glad you're here. I'm glad
go
ahead
too.
Ryan, what were you saying?
I was just going to say, I just searched him up on Twitter, and luckily I don't know how this works with Twitter, but he can change the name without losing the followers. It just changes.
Yeah.
Everybody stays there. Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is though, if you got a blue check mark, do you have one? No?
Yeah, it'll go away.
They'll remove it. So don't keep changing it.
Yeah.
If you get a blue check mark, like I know a bunch of guys that had blue check marks through some kind of fucking emotional hissy fit, changed their fucking name of their account, and then came back and it's like, where's the blue check mark? Gone. You can't change your name or the title. If you have a blue check mark, it has to stay the way it's supposed to stay.
That's like our friend Rob
losing your blue check mark.
It's like our buddy Rob. He can't change that vote for Rob Gill because he'll lose his check mark.
Yeah. The dog's good. Just barking at. I think the kids are across the street playing basketball.
Oh, are they?
And for some reason, our dog thinks that basketball is for him. It's a weird thing. Any other sport, it's basketball, he flips out over basketball.
It's a ball involved.
Yeah.
Dogs and balls, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of balls, let's start there. So last week on the program, Bonzi told us that he had 3 testicles. Correct?
Correct.
You would think that would come up at some point, and it just this week came up. Crazy to me.
Now you sent us a few pictures of your testes.
Yes, I
Which
did.
thank you. It was like shortly after we asked for the testicular pictures, several arrived. And to the point where I'm like, okay, I get it. Yeah. It was almost like you were fucking us over with a series of as many pictures of your nuts in distress as you can. But you indeed do have what appears to be 3 testicles. In fact, I want to put them on the screen, and we're working on that. Ryan gave pictures of your nuts to his wife, and your wife, Ashley, who's your co-host on the Sheeple Shepherd podcast, is actually trying to blur the testicles out so we can actually put them on here, because what you've done is you've numbered
That's a strong
the nuts.
Marriage.
Perfect. It is a very strong marriage.
He Howie meekered them.
I think I have a blurred picture if you want.
He did with the telestrator.
So he not only sent us the pictures, he numbered them like Howie Meeker would do on the old fucking telestrator. Where he's like, you go here, and there's a guy there, and there's one guy here. That's what he did. He Howie Meekered the picture of his nutsack. But go ahead and put up the blur picture if you have it. Right into the screen, Bonzi. I know it's not blurred, but go ahead and bring up the picture and put it on the screen. Let's just see if this works. See if we get deplatformed for showing a picture of your balls. And the telestrator
just
version.
Do like
just do a little flash. I'll tell you.
How am I supposed to do it from here?
You just show it to the fucking camera.
On your phone.
He means from your phone.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That way, I don't think we're gonna get in trouble but these are Bonzi's testicles to prove that he's got 1, 2, 3 nuts.
Okay.
Take it down. Okay, first off, I need to point something out. After we talked about this on Monday, and we awkwardly asked Bonzi to send a picture of his nuts because we needed to see this after he divulged that he had a tennis can ball of a
third
tennis
testy
balls down there.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was laughing so hard because we were giving him tips on how to take a picture of it. And Dean used this expression that I've never heard before. Because Ryan pointed out that we need to see the edges, the outline of these balls, right? Like, we're not going to just believe it if you just send us a picture of your sack. You need to. And Dean goes, grab it just below the shaft and brain it.
Brain it.
I don't know why that made me laugh. I was out walking the dog on Monday's pod, and I was thinking about you explaining to him how to brain your nuts.
He phoned me after he walked the dog, and he's like, I can't stop laughing at the time when you went, brain it. Just brain it. Well, for those of you who don't understand what braining it means, you guys know what brain your nuts means, right? Like, you get it.
I do now. You were very descriptive.
Well, I gave the preamble, and you just put a label on it, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
So
you brain it. How would you preamble braining it? Like, if you were going to Urban Dictionary braining your nuts, what would you say, Lindley?
Well, I said grab it by like under the shaft and make sure that you're squeezing it like almost milking it towards the front to expose the edges and the. I said it. I think there was.
We're gonna get yanked. Bonzi.
It's just balls. I think you can show balls. I just think you can't show shafts. And it's
three numbers up there.
No, it's
blurred.
The amount of work he went to get into whatever position he needed to get into to not only brain his balls with one hand and then take a shot with the camera with the other one. How many pictures did you end up taking? I bet you got 30 pictures of your nuts on your camera.
You're about right. 25 to 30, and it took me 30 minutes. And my dog, he's fucking sitting there in the back room. He's staring at me, and he's like, "What in the fuck are you doing?" Like his face. He had to come up to the front of the bus, and then I could see him watching at the back.
Sorry,
he
Ian.
come back, and he goes, "You're still doing this?" It was a shit show, dude.
It was great.
His dog.
We still doing this? Even the dog that licks his own nuts is worried about his master.
Fucked,
He was. Yeah, he was. In fact, we were at. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, please. In fact, we were what? Go ahead.
I was going to say we were at the neighbors last night, and it was time to go home, and he was like, "Man, I'm not coming with you. I'm staying here." I had to literally. I came to the bus, put my computer on, my pipe and everything, my jug of water. And I had to go back and get him because he wouldn't come. First time.
He's
like,
worried about you.
You know why? You know why? He sat and watched you take about 80,000 pictures of your balls on the bus, and he's like, "Get me the fuck out of here." Yeah.
What? Not only are you questioning your decision to move down there, he is too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Get me off this
you guys owe Ashley an apology for making me send her Bonzi's balls and then just having him show them on the screen anyway.
It was Dean.
Well, listen, no offense, Ash, but did you get the job done, or are we still looking?
She did.
Okay. Can you send them to me? Did you send it to me?
Yeah.
You have
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you right now.
Oh, now we're gonna put them up
there's
for
been
real.
An exchange of testicle pictures between my husband and I. This show has really brought us closer.
You're welcome. And sorry,
we're like swingers now, soft swingers.
So no, you're not.
We're all swingers.
So Ashley, just to recap, you've never gotten a picture of your husband's groin, but you did get a picture of Bonzi's nutsack just now.
That is correct.
That's good.
Stay close.
Yeah.
We know each other. We're family.
Yeah. I mean, I've never felt closer to somebody that I've never touched before.
Yeah.
Hamiltonians.
Yeah.
We're tight.
As a female, what did you make of the 3 testicle look? Was it off-putting? Was it fine? No big deal?
It was a big deal because I didn't mean to look at them, and I just kind of came across them. I wasn't mentally prepared. You know,
I think Ashley said when she
balls.
saw him doing the work,
she
went,
full
"What the
of
fuck
shit.
are you looking at?"
You're full of shit. So we're having dinner Monday night.
Yeah.
We're having pasta.
Yeah.
And they came through and I started laughing. She goes, "Oh my God, that's them, isn't it?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Don't show me. I'm trying to eat." And then literally without like a period at the end of that sentence, "Okay, show me."
That's right. That's right.
See? She's full of shit.
Well, Ash, thanks for blurring it. No, well, of course you're intrigued. You've never seen a 3-bald man.
Well, you know what? I'll defend Ashley here, and I've said this out loud numerous times.
Yeah.
I will meet somebody, and I don't. It's not the first thing that comes to my mind, but after a period of time, I'll be curious about what they look like naked. I mean, I don't need it
Not
in
one
my
girl
life.
has ever noticed, Locke. That's the funniest part.
And I'm talking everybody. I don't know. I'm just curious about how people look in their birthday suits, right? And
Really?
you know, some of the bigger people too. Like, I want to see how things are falling and that kind of shit.
No, you
Like,
don't.
yeah, I
Go
do.
to a club.
You think
See
you
plenty.
Yeah.
This has been
I've
nice.
never seen someone admit that before in public. Nonetheless, on a
honestly,
but it's true when you see people and you look at them, you're like, and it's not like a sexual thing. There are certain people you look at, and you're like, I want to know how that works.
yeah, I wouldn't beat off to it. But
No.
if they said, "Hey, would you like to see a nudie of me?"
Right.
I'd be like, "Yeah, I would."
Yeah, I
the
kind of
same
do.
reason I
For
needed
science.
to see Fonzie's
Well,
nuts.
Yeah, you did ask for a cockpick too last episode when I was on Lachlan.
Okay,
That's a true
hold
story.
on. I suggested I needed to know how you prepped and whether or not you were full. Okay, hold on. I promised on all my social media that I wasn't going to talk about my balls today. And then that
You
We're
lied.
talking
went
about
south.
yours.
Yeah,
Talk
it's
about his.
actually it isn't my balls. I wanted to know how you prepped for a dick pic because I've never sent one. I got married sometime back when they just created Fire. And so I've missed all this shit. So when I've got friends that are single and doing these weird little things, I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious. Like when you do a dick pic, do you slap it and get it going a bit, or like is there an angle
you gotta.
thing?
It's Ashley's like,
What
do you know?
you gotta. You don't want a flaccid one.
All I'm saying is if you're gonna send me a picture of it, I don't want to see it sleeping.
Yeah, you want to see it ready to go. That's
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's an action shot for a reason.
You got a live one on
And-
your hands there, Lindley. You got
and
a live one on
Bonzi-
your hands.
And Bonzi
Married it.
admitted that he had a bunch of dick pics on his phone at one point. And then I'm like,
The
well, fire
gallery.
one at us. And
One of the things that you mentioned, Bonzi, that I find very interesting is you said any woman you've ever been with has never noticed that you have 3 testicles.
Never, and not to be rude, but they have been in the oral region of the said ladies,
Okay, dear.
and they've never noticed.
Nice.
Have a nice time.
Thanks for
3
having me.
balls.
We'll see you
Not
later.
one.
Bye, guys.
Not one
He
ever.
said, "Bye, Ash." He just called that the oral region.
The oral regions.
Oh, that is really funny.
That's amazing. You
Yeah.
are
Listen,
fucking amazing.
I have something I would like to say about yesterday's podcast. If you're cool shifting gears right now, Dean.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
So you had a guest on, John Dow.
John Dow. Yep.
And John Dow is a Canadian vet, and it was a podcast that I unfortunately missed because I had to go to my doctor. I had an appointment. I tried to make it for the morning. They moved it to the afternoon. Anyway, I listened to it because I saw the response it was getting online, and so I listened to it before jumping on today. And I just want to say that was amazing. He was unbelievable. I think you guys could have had him on for another hour, and I'm sure I would not have gone anywhere. The one thing that I do want people that may have missed it that are listening now or watching or whatever now, if you get a chance, I think everybody needs to go back and listen to that. I have been struggling with where we are and the separation in society with COVID and the vaccine and the masks, and trying to rationalize my position and my thought process around it. And yesterday was an eye-opening experience because he didn't give an excuse, but he gave us all pause,
information.
at least for me, with some information about where some of the people in our lives may be. If you have somebody in your life that is radicalized, isn't necessarily the best way of putting it, but if they're a little on the loopy side of things compared to the rest of the world, that would be a good podcast to go back and listen to. And I don't even think it has to do with the military. I think that there's a lot of parallels between everybody on that side of the fence that we're living with and interacting with on a daily basis.
You mean
Some
like
of us.
parallels in terms of getting down to a level that you can try to understand the individuals and the people? Because I find it hard to separate each individual group, right? You got your vets that are hesitant. You got your police guys that are. I had a long conversation today with a member of York Region Police, right? Because they're my friends. Couple of guys I've known a lot. I'm in fact, if I showed you guys one of these guys, Bonzi, you'd for sure know who he is. But the bottom line is I had this conversation with him, and he called about yesterday's podcast, and he had the complete opposite opinion of what we were talking about. And it wasn't in terms of like, why did you talk to those fucking idiots? It was like, why are you bothering? Like, why are you bothering trying to understand a violent group of people? Why are you bothering to try to understand military veterans that have come back and have turned into alt-right nutcases who want to watch the world burn and want their own society, which one of the guys was talking about yesterday. And because he has no time for it. Like he was telling me 40 guys at York Region, boom, gone. Just walked off the job. And the reason why they walked off the job is because they won't get vaccinated. And he said if he didn't have to get vaccinated to keep his gig, he probably wouldn't have, right? So like he was kind of on both sides. And this guy was like, fuck those guys. Fuck them already. Because we have to do it. We had to bite the bullet. And all of us had to if we wanted to keep our jobs in the best interest of people whose cars we're sticking our heads into as cops every time we pull someone over, right? So he has no time, no patience for any of that stuff. But I found the whole conversation with John very interesting because at the same time, while we were trying to understand, alt-right or extreme veterans that have turned to paranoia and all the other bullshit guys we were talking about, there was this like steady stream of comments coming in going, we're going to fucking find you. You better be careful when you go out of your house. Fuck you for trying to help. You're not helping, you fraud. And I'm watching this, and I've got two different sides to me. Like, I'm trying to listen to everybody. We're trying to understand it so that we can act accordingly and appropriately, because that's important to me. It's important to be right, to be on the right side of all these issues, and you got to do some work to do it. But it was fucking classic because and then the emails started. Like these guys that we were talking started sending me hate mail. That's why I had a nice conversation with the York Region this morning. They followed up on a bunch of stuff I sent them yesterday because it's not my fucking job to deal with these psychos. It really isn't. But it's my job to try and understand them, show some self-restraint where normally guys like me don't. And that's why we did it. We did it so people could go, okay, listen, let's try and bring the temperature down a little bit. But when we did that, they took the temperature right back up, which doesn't do them any fucking favors.
But I thought John Dow did an excellent job of explaining why we're at where we're at, right? And was like, yeah, these guys may never talk to me again. Like he gets why they're there, and that was the thing that I appreciated, and the thing that I wanted to say about my involvement with this podcast is that I'm proud of the fact that what we do here is we give that voice an opportunity. Okay. And what we've done is we're accountable for the information that we're presenting. I mean, sure, we'll start off 15 minutes and talk about Bonzi's third ball, but we also can have
20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes. But we can also have a serious conversation like you guys did yesterday. And the thing is, not everybody is having that conversation. And I think it's the conversation that needs to happen. Look at what happened. Like you just said, boom, you got flooded with that group that you're trying to shed some light on, some understanding. That group turned on you. And came after you while that podcast.
Do you know how many emails I got yesterday with them threatening my kids?
Well,
20.
And that's the thing that's the crazy part about where we're at. Right. That's why I'm been so triggered over the last 3, 4, 5 months with this whole thing is because there's such extreme versions of it on both sides. Right. And I'm glad you took Saplinski to task on that, because I think he was trying to be funny or something with that video about the comparison to the work camps, but it didn't work. And the fact that he was able to admit that he made a mistake, I think was important as well. Both sides need to do that. Here's the thing. We're not always going to be right on this podcast. Right.
No.
But I think
Okay.
I think our attempt at accountability and our effort at accountability and the fact that we're doing what we can to represent even the crazy or the stuff we don't that we don't 100% agree with, I think is more important. Right?
It is, and when it gets emotional, like yeah, totally. And Lindsay, I don't know if you experienced that. Yeah, your wife just sent a nice. She said she was fucking paralyzed with anxiety watching the show because there was literally we're trying to get the information and we're just getting sewered, which I loved. Right? It's engagement. We did a huge number yesterday.
I wasn't kidding when I said my comments actually exploded to the point where I couldn't see them anymore. So even when I went back to watch it, I didn't get to see the stuff that had been deleted. And I don't think Locke saw that either. So you missed a lot of it, even though you saw a lot of it at the same time. There was a lot that was coming in prior that was just, it was bad. And like, there was just, it was disconnected. The thoughts were disconnected. Yeah. Like, even like if it was on,
none of them had context to what we were talking about. It was all like, you're a fucking loser. Fuck you. I hope you fucking die. Like, and it was like this steady stream.
Yeah.
And it was. Listen, does that stuff bother me? Not at all. Because I see it in binary, which a lot of people don't. And I know it bothers you, but I can tell you this: it was a great exercise because I learned something yesterday. And I'll tell you what I learned, and you can apply it to your everyday as you go through life and you deal with these kinds of people and you're looking at it through Twitter, is that you cannot put any personal stock in crazy. You can't. You can't put your self-worth in crazy. None of that stuff made any sense. It was all, as Ryan pointed out, disconnected, disassociative. It was all very reflective of a group of people who are suffering tremendously from very severe mental illness. And I got patience for that for some reason. I don't have patience for people who are smart enough and don't exercise a little restraint, but I have patience for people. Exactly. I have patience for people who literally have no idea that they're fucking abscesses of humanity because their minds are so fucking melted. The government, drugs, serving their country, traumatic head injuries, TBIs. I mean, there's so many different reasons. And if we don't stop for a second to go, let's talk about this. And the way someone treats us should not be indicative of how we treat them in return. All of me yesterday wanted to call each one of those people cunts. All of me wanted to tell each one of them to go play in traffic. All of me. And it took all of me not to do it. It took all of me not to say it. I know I'm kind of joking around, but I don't know if it's a sea change, but it's not necessarily about being a better person for society. I think it's about being a better person for yourself. And if you can do that,
that's
and if you have a little understanding, it's super important. Yeah, then you'll get through it.
Yeah. And it translates into who you are with other people as well. If you're doing it for you, it's going to be better for everybody else as well. I was if anything, if I took away something yesterday positive, it was I learned a lot from John, but at the same time, it was our vets need a lot more attention. Our vets need a hell of a lot more attention, and we've known this for years. But it's now with social media and things like this, it's really amplified it. It's really showing
these guys that we had, like Jeremy, the guy who we played the thing on, Jeremy McKenzie, Chris, the guy who Fire for Effect podcast with us, 24-year veteran of our armed services, have been abandoned by the very people that sent them to do the dirtiest work. Abandoned
by bureaucracy. They've created such a wormhole of bureaucracy and hoops that people have to jump through to get the help that they need, that it becomes almost it becomes overwhelming. These people are already at a point where they have trouble just dealing with day-to-day life. And we're talking extreme cases here where they're having trouble just even providing day-to-day necessities for themselves and their families. And then you ask them to jump through all these fucking weird hoops to get a check or counseling or whatever the case might be. There's a lot of organizations around the country, though, that are helping out the vets in that regard. We have one, and I'll point it out here, that we work with quite closely at Cruise, 95.7 Cruise FM, the station I work for here in Edmonton, and it's the Veterans Association Food Bank. Now, Food Bank is just like a fraction of what it is that they do. You go down to that building and they will get in front of the Veteran Affairs Association and they'll help and they'll fight for you. And they've got guys that have been stuck in the weeds and caught in the weeds, and they know how to negotiate these waters, right?
We shouldn't need that, though.
You shouldn't have to, but unfortunately, like Ryan, that's the world that we live in. We got a government that sits and it stands up at podiums and says all the right things, but then behind the scenes, like, look at what they're. Do you know how many cases they have against the Indigenous people They're in court right now trying to block every penny leaving the government to help them. And yet that dick that runs our country, every chance he gets, he stands up to a podium and says all the right things and has this woke audience thinking that he's some kind of savior. But the actual fact is, and the same thing's happening with the government. Well, John Dow said it yesterday. There's 1,700 active cases against the federal government. Why do you think it's in court? It's in court because they aren't actually living up to their promises.
Because they don't
and
care.
So they have to sue them. They don't give a shit. Yet if you watch these people stand in front of other people and talk to everybody, right? Thousands of people across this country, you'd think that we have the greatest government in the world. It's bullshit. They're liars, and it's on a number of levels. Mm-hmm. Anyway,
yeah, and it's every government. I mean, this has been going on for as long as we've had a military. It's not just this government, but it's worse when the guy stands there and is like, "We're here for you," and then fights him in court to not give him a fucking thing.
Takes a teddy bear to a gravestone, right? Yeah. Like it's just awful. Like the guy is such a hypocrite, and I think I still can't believe that he won. That.
Can I ask you a question? Are you angrier at Justin Trudeau or Pete Davidson? Serious question, because
I've got a lot of hatred for Pete Davidson.
There's Pete Davidson, complete with his butthole eyes, and holding hands with Kim Kardashian a week after appearing on Saturday Night Live, where they made out. And there it is again. Them at Knott's Landing, some kind of a fucking amusement park.
Yeah,
there's them holding hands. Could he have done it again?
He is.
Gawker says he did. Gawker said they've got sources saying that they were at some hotel for the whole weekend.
Banging
Sunday morning, 2 weeks ago, when Kim Kardashian went on Saturday Night Live, I watched it and I tweeted. I was doing laundry and I was watching Saturday Night Live in the morning. I don't stay up to watch it. I had it on the DVR. And I'll watch it. And I tweeted, we can go back into my tweets. And I said, good Lord, he's going to start banging Kim Kardashian. I called it.
Guys,
this guy is insane.
He's fucking magical.
Look at him.
How?
Look at him. The thing that drives me insane is that's the guy that shows up at your house and goes, hey, give me $20. I'll clean your windows for you. Right?
Or this one.
I'm here to fuck your daughter.
Hey, do you have any empties? I'm here collecting empties.
Exactly. Hey, I'll clean your gutters for an extra 10. You got a ladder?
I'm here to aerate your lawn for $50.
He's not funny. Have you seen his stand-up?
I find him funny. I find him funny.
Oh my God. What's wrong with you?
But listen, you got to be funnier. You got to be funny. Here's what I think. Go ahead, Bonzi. What were you going to say?
It's confidence. It's pure and utter confidence. That's all it's got to be. Right? He has more confidence than probably all of us combined in the show. I don't know.
I am the most cocky son of a bitch you've ever met. I've been like this my whole life. I was worse when I was a kid.
Yeah, but have you been around
a girl to even look at my penis?
He's been married for 85 years.
I was 29 years old before anybody slept with me. Like, honestly, it's not confidence. That's the wrong thing. I don't know what this is. I've heard he has a huge hammer.
I heard he's got a 10-inch dong, yes.
I heard it's pretty.
What is every girl looking for a 10-inch dong, especially if you're a celebrity?
I think so.
Like he's getting 10. He's getting 12 out of 10s. He's been with so many other girls too. It is unbelievable.
He looks like a squeegee fucking kid. Like
he does.
You know what it is?
And he first he deflowered that lovely Ariana Grande. And
that's all you
how
need
the
to do.
Fuck is that happening? And you're like, wow, that's weird. That'll never happen again.
He's with
my former neighbor at the cottage, the Cindy Crawford. Then he's with they're 19, and you're like, that's impossible. That'll never happen again. And now he's
Kate Beckinsale, by the way.
Kate Beckinsale,
yeah, not a big deal.
Who's like she's it for me. Like if you were going to say, hey Dean, you get, it's Kate Beckinsale. There's no questions asked.
Or Halle Berry.
Not Halle Berry. She's too much of a bitch. I heard Kate Beckinsale is just a little bit less of a bitch, so it would be Kate Beckinsale. But I don't think I look at Kate Beckinsale and I'm like, she's perfect. She's like a perfect human.
Racist.
And right behind her, there's Pete Davidson going, yeah, I did it. And I'm going, How? And now he's with Kim Kardashian.
It makes me angry.
It's a momentum. It's a domino effect momentum thing. So he gets one that's super hot, and the rest think he's safe now. So it's like, well, there must be something. And it's like as soon as
Ryan,
he stops that momentum.
I'm gonna slap on my portable vagina for a minute and represent the female audience here that could potentially be listening. That is the most offensive thing I've ever heard as a quasi-female for the next 2-3 minutes. Chick. You're telling me that just because he banged a hot one, that the other hot ones are lining up? Do you see where I'm going here, Ryan?
Yeah, it's not the first time it's happened.
Yeah,
Leonardo DiCaprio.
I listen. I'm with Rhino on this one. I think that there's some mystery there for these hot babes that are like, what does he have?
He was with Cassie David too. Don't forget, Larry David's daughter.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she's a smoke show too.
I don't get it. I just wanted to point out because I said exactly the same thing on my show, and I had a couple of very angry female listeners.
Oh, okay, so you agree?
I don't know what it is. It doesn't make any sense. But yes, you're right. He drops one, and then a bunch of the other ones fall. Like that is. But think about how offensive that is to.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
It's offensive because all you're saying is it just took one. He just knocked down a 10, and so that the rest of the 10s just stand up and go, all right, okay, who's next?
12s? Oh yeah, I did.
Kate, you want to get in here? Ariana's taking a break. Like it's offensive. It
Lachlan.
is
the new.
What?
Lachlan, fucking Pete Davidson is offensive.
Yeah, it is offensive. It makes me mad. Every time I see this guy with a new bird on his arm, I'm like, what? What's going on?
Well, because like just when you think it can't get hotter, he goes and gets a unicorn, and you're like, how are you fucking doing this? Like, how is this continually possible? Maybe he's hilarious.
He's not.
Maybe
funny.
He's like, well, dude, maybe he's super funny relationship.
Watch his shit on SNL. He's the least talented dick on that show. Here's the other thing. Like,
you're mad. No, he's not.
Yeah,
you're
just
mad.
What are you talking about? Go watch his stand-up.
You're mad because he's tapping it and you're not.
Yep.
And that's it. You're mad because
angry because he looks like chicks. You. I'll steal your. This is even better than what I've said. He looks like a squeegee kid. Look at pictures of him. Look at his legs. He's doesn't work out.
Boy, he could be an island boy. If
he's an island boy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I'm a
that's actually perfect.
Yeah, he is an island boy. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at him. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, he looks like
he was
looks
on
like a homeless hemophiliac. He does.
He does.
He looks like a homeless hemophiliac.
He
needs like 2 quarts of AB positive right now.
He's
all the time.
Socioeconomically and medically diagnosed by Dean Blundell in one picture. That was great.
The only time I've ever thought he was funny, and they don't do this all the time, but they do this occasionally, is when he steps up. I will give him credit for this. When he does his little performances with the Weekend Update, those are funny. Right, when he's got a little bit of self-deprecating humor, and he's talking about whatever, it doesn't even matter. I can't remember specifically, but Shay will bring him on, right? And he'll do a 2-minute, 3-minute piece. Those are funny. The skits I've seen him in, he ruins every skit he's in.
Oh, that skit he did with the Aladdin was pretty funny with him.
It was pretty funny, yeah. Where they made out.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
that was good. So is everybody else on Saturday Night Live hate his fucking guts because he steals every A-list?
On there. Oh, fucking rights. Ding, ding, ding.
Like,
not only that, he's the most famous guy on Saturday Night Live, and he's the biggest tool and the least talented. There is a lot of talent on that show.
I disagree with. Yeah, I know. I
disagree.
You are still making decisions with your wiener. That's what you're doing. You're making a reputational decision with your penis.
No,
that's all this is.
That you've been married for so long.
Yeah, you're pissed.
He gets all this.
You know what it's like? It's like when your neighbor gets a new car every week. You're like, fuck me in this stupid fucking Subaru. You're focused on needs that you can't have filled instead of the needs that you have filled. And that's the truth, Locke. You have a problem.
I do make things about myself quite often.
You don't say.
I don't
So
get it. Look
maybe-
at it. His eyes look like two massive assholes, and he just continues to get laid. Ashley, your wife said, your wife, by the way, not my wife, your wife. I don't have one. Ashley said, I think these women think, maybe a change is what I need, and go for the opposite of what they normally would. Then they realize as a man child the sex isn't worth staying for.
Well, you know what? The other thing too, right? There is this thing, and while we now we're offending women, we might as well keep that ball rolling. There is this thing with women where they want to fix dudes. And then this is why the first 10 years of your marriage is usually awful, because they spend their whole time trying to fit you into this idea of what marriage is and what a husband should be. And then after 10 years, if they don't leave you or you leave them, what ends up happening is there's this sort of reckoning where they just give up.
I believe they call it settling. They just settle.
And there's a 7-year mark and a 10-year mark. And there's some differences between the 7 and the 10-year mark, but I'm not wrong. And everybody listening to me that's gone the distance on a relationship knows exactly what I'm talking about. And basically, if you ever meet somebody who has ended up in a relationship longer than 10 years, their wife at some point just gave up and went,
Your
fucking
your wife
idiot.
doesn't watch this show, does she?
No.
Yeah,
No.
cool.
Do you don't think that I've had this conversation with her, Ryan?
How long you guys been married, Locke?
We've been together 30 years this summer.
Did she take you to your physical yesterday, or did you take yourself to your physical?
No, I took myself.
Yeah, how'd it go? You all right?
I'm
They
good.
do the
I
dip
got to do
test?
the.
They do the dip
no.
test. They go in there and have a little
No. He did a little feeling around, grab my balls, check
Yeah.
for lumps and bumps, and
No lumps, no bumps.
no lumps.
He never
no
bothers
bumps.
you about your drinking, Locke?
He
doesn't
lies.
say-
I lie
He's
about my
not done
drinking.
yet.
You do, really?
Yeah. What
Why?
I've done is I give him the 2-day total. And if I ever get told, if I ever get asked about, are you sure it's only 15? I go, oh, was that a 7? I thought it was a 2.
Oh,
I made the mistake years ago. I told my doctor what I drank, and guess what I spent the next year doing?
Not drinking.
No, scans and trips to the doctor and all sorts of
shit.
stuff. Oh yeah.
So hold it. Did he take blood?
They take blood at a clinic, so I went and I had that done after I went to the thing.
Oh,
yeah.
so you lied to him before he got
Yeah.
the
But
he's gonna
serum, the stuff in your blood that will tell him that you're
Okay.
lying.
Occasionally,
numbers.
Bonzi, there's a conversation after he looks at the blood work. But I taped the conversation in the room.
You must have caught me at a bad time, Doc. It was a stressful month.
By the
So I
way,
might have
I
pounded
did
a
this
few
this
extra.
morning. I've done this before. If you're 50, you have to do what is called a fit test, FIT. So it's a stool sample.
Finger
something,
in
yeah.
the-
It's
They
an
missed the
Finger
B.
in the ass test. Fitta.
no fit. It's just you gotta take this thing home, right? And you gotta fill it with poo, and the poo can't get contaminated. So what I do is I take a paper plate. I've had to do this a couple of times, and I just put it in the bowl, and then I shit on the plate. Wrap the
Should we get
the
back
paper
to my
plate up,
balls?
throw her in a Safeway bag, take her to the clinic. They get a lot more than they want.
Especially after you just chucked 2 Arby's burgers and a curly fries into you.
They get more than they want.
what's
You're
What-
supposed to take a scoop of it. You're supposed to put it in a little thing, and
I'm not
then
messing
you
around
set
with it.
And you're like, you know what? I'm not going to do the scoop. I'm just going to take a big pinch on this fucking Dixie plate.
Poor Ashley.
And here you go.
I thought she was traumatized yesterday.
I got a question, Locke.
Yeah.
Does the plate, when you got the plate, does it get wet in the bowl, or like how do you do that?
I prop it up, just lay it in there. It does get a bit wet, but you just wedge it in there and then do your business quick.
real quick. Yeah.
Yep.
Fascinating.
Yeah. It's either that or you're shitting in a to-go cup. And
well, you don't.
That's
dude,
harder.
You don't shit it. No. There's a little work to do after you take a dump on the plate. You got to put the feces on the plate, and then you got to take a scoop and you put it in a little tube or a cup.
Yes.
And then you take the cup.
Dean's right.
But what you're doing is you don't.
I don't.
Poor nurses in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Just wrap it up in a Safeway bag.
You're so gross. Dude.
Here you go.
Put it on the seat next to the super.
Writes his name with a Sharpie like his mom would for a lunch. Lachlan. On the outside, tie the top. Tie the top.
Okay, who wants this? What is that, sir? It's a bag of shit.
Eat.
It's my fit test.
It's my shit
I'm
fit.
glad you're well. I'm glad you're well. I really am glad you're well. And I was happy you came to the show today because a number of things that we've discussed and we haven't gotten to some I want to talk about. And I'd be interested to get everybody's feeling on this.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how flags around Canada are half-mast right now. And they have been for some time in honor of the genocide this country committed against Indigenous people.
Yeah.
So we got Remembrance
July, right?
Yeah, since July. We got Remembrance Day coming up, 11/11/11. Everybody knows aware of why we do Remembrance Day, right? In Flanders Fields, where poppies grow, row by row, all that stuff. Commemorate the war. So now there's this fight between certain people and other people. The people that want the flag to stay halfway up the pole. And then there's another segment of people that want the flag to go all the way up the pole. And I would love to get everybody's thoughts on why the fuck anybody cares about positionally where the flag sits on a fucking flagpole across this country. And if it's worth everyone. Dude,
okay.
Aaron O'Toole and all the conservatives are like, it is like one of the biggest topics of discussion right now is like,
I've missed all
raise
this.
the flag. And the liberals are like, can't raise the flag because we're still mourning. And they're like, yeah, but you're fighting people in court. And then they bring up Indigenous genocide. And then I'm like, okay, can we just stop? It's a fucking flag. It's a flag. Does anybody in this podcast give two fucks about whether or not our flag is all the way up, halfway up, or all the way down?
How about we just remove the fucking flags?
Let's go around the table.
Take them down.
Okay. Take them down.
Do you want me to start, Ryan?
Yeah.
Let Bonzi finish. Let's let Bonzi finish. Go ahead.
Sorry,
what are your thoughts?
I think it's ridiculous. I think it's an utter waste of time that these high-end politicians are fighting over a flag position when there's so many other bigger problems out there. Why do we need flagpoles to represent? We know where we live. We're loud and proud. People can celebrate at their house and put a flag up. That's fine. If you're from a British heritage or Italian heritage, put up your Italian flag and Canadian flag because you live in Canada now. No problem. Put it wherever the fuck you want. But to flags that all over the place that government officials are arguing about and are getting so upset about, how about we just do away with it and move on to bigger and better important stuff?
Yeah, that's well put. I do worry sometimes about the tradition, our lack of tradition, our lack of ceremony, and I do have concerns about that. On Remembrance Day, I put a poppy.
How about we bring out the flags on Remembrance Day and celebrate our soldiers and our veterans and stuff? That's a perfect day for a flag to come out. Put it up the pole for.
I think you're right, Bonzi. I think we have to stop fighting about this stuff, and I totally agree with what you're saying. I'm just saying I worry that we are losing touch with some of this stuff, and I wonder. I don't know what the right answer is. When I put a poppy on Remembrance Day and go into work, I don't get mad if anybody else doesn't have one. And I'm not going to start a fight with somebody, or I'm not going to go on my radio show and go, if you don't wear a poppy, you're an idiot. You people. You people, I'm not going to do that. But I do have concerns about our lack of connection to those types of ceremonies. And I think it's important that we do show things like when they found all those bodies at that church in Kamloops. I think it was the right thing to do what we did, the fact that we're fighting about it now sort of hurts the whole point of it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is.
Lindley, what do you think?
Excuse me. I thought
You're
he was
welcome.
still going to go.
No worries.
I thought.
Lindley, what do you think?
I think
I'm sick.
Okay. Sorry.
I think Bonzi's got a bit of a point, and Locke also has a point. The problem with fighting about where the flag is it takes away from both sides of the argument. It takes away why they're fighting about the indigenous rights and the veterans' rights and the veterans' problems and the indigenous problems that we're all facing. So it just tunes out the entire argument of where the fucking flag goes on the pole. But we have a tradition for our veterans for where the flag goes. The flag goes at the top and then it comes down to the middle. And like there's so you know what? Put it up and then put it back down. If it's up for a couple of minutes and comes back, who gives a shit? Just fix the fucking problems that you're arguing about. How about that?
But here's the thing: is that they are using this and they are telling people that and this is the narrative that's been driven. So like my opinion on flags is I don't give a fuck. My opinion on national anthems before hockey games, I don't give a fuck about any of those either. You can get rid of those for all I care.
Yeah,
and
I kind of like that.
I'm not a national.
I don't go to a hockey game.
Time.
Yeah, I don't go to a hockey game
to
feel a sense of national pride.
No,
I feel a sense of national pride when my country treats its veterans responsibly. I feel a sense of national pride when we say, yes, we did commit genocide a couple hundred years ago, and we have held up these poor kids in court, and we're refusing to pay them. So let's just pay them. I would feel national pride if we as a country did the right thing over and over and over again. But we don't. We're just like every other fucking country. And so where that flag sits, do I love living here? Am I Canadian? Yes and yes.
Yes.
I love living in Canada. But if you said to me, show me your national pride, I'd say, show me a country that's doing the right things for its citizens on a regular basis, especially the underprivileged. Then I'm proud. But when it comes to where a flag goes, I am not going to fucking tweet someone and call them a raging Nazi or a total fucking communist because they think that the indigenous people that were here first deserve the respect of a flag that's halfway up because it's a reminder of the crime that we committed against an entire culture for hundreds of years. So there's that. But when someone says, don't you want the flag at the top of the flagpole for our veterans? For sure I do if it means something to them. But if you get jacked up, if you feel like you have to assert yourself on social media over the position of a flag on a fucking pole, you're a fucking loser.
Your life's miserable.
Miserable.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Really,
you know what?
I'm actually I'm jealous of them. I'm jealous of people like that because if that is what you have to worry about all day long, fuck.
Right.
Let's trade shoes for a bit.
Those people wake up and just find a new thing to be angry about every morning. Like
You're right.
You brought up an excellent point. I'll give you an example.
Probably.
My wife loves Christmas. And if you gave her an opportunity, she'd start Christmas like in August. And I have over the years, due to my hatred for Christmas, I've learned to love Christmas because the kids
She
like
loves
it.
Christmas. Yeah.
My wife loves Christmas.
No one fucking hates Christmas.
I
love
didn't
Christmas,
like
you Grinch.
Christmas.
You hate
I
Christmas?
don't like Christmas.
You hate
I don't like
Christmas,
Christmas.
Bonzi?
Yeah, it's not my most favorite time of the year, to be honest.
I don't mind Christmas.
I like it now
I love
that I've had
Christmas.
I
kids.
don't hate
My family ruined Christmas for me. I got used cross-country skis one year. Okay, so I hate fucking cross-country skis.
You are a pisser.
I've never
I got a Nordic track
Okay,
once.
hold on. One of
I
my
hate
most
Christmas.
traumatic experiences as a child.
To get
and you
one or
dicks are
two.
laughing. You dicks are laughing at me.
Dude, have you not caught on to the fact that anytime someone's vulnerable and tells a story about some trauma, everyone else laughs at them? Have you not been doing that for a year?
I'll own it.
Have you met
Okay,
Bonzi?
so
Welcome to the show.
welcome to the show, Bonzi. So
Welcome to the show.
I have always
said,
said, listen, Christmas is great. You've saved Christmas for me. Thank you. The children love it. We spend too much money. All of that I don't have a say in. But I have had a say over the years on when Christmas starts, like trees going up and shit like that. And so I've tried to get her to hold off until the end of November. But there were years I can remember when I'd come home and, like, if it was dark, she'd have the Christmas lights on. And then I found out from a friend of mine that he is very triggered by anybody that puts Christmas lights up and turns them on, because he's a veteran. Again, listen to you.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
He's a veteran before November 11th. So now, out of respect, and my wife abides by it, I've said, hey, listen, I don't care. You don't care. But this might bother some friends of mine that are in the military or have been in the military. So let's just not turn our Christmas lights on until the end of November. And God forbid, let's make sure we don't turn them on before November 11th. So again, you made a good point, Dean. Like, this should bother you.
No.
And maybe on Remembrance Day, we should take them up and go full mast with the flags, right? And then maybe afterwards, because I don't think this thing's done, maybe we do bring them back down to half mast, right?
You know what I say? If we want to fuck with people, if we want to really fuck with people, we take it up 3/4 of the way. What does that mean? What are you saying?
Oh, Christ, you imagine QAnon? QAnon would be all over it. They're signaling the fucking lizard people.
Did you hear about this gathering in Dallas, guys?
Oh, did I hear about it? Fellas, thanks for the segue. It's our next topic.
Welcome. See, Locke, we're good at this too.
Way to go, Lindley.
So yesterday, because it was a fucking crazy day, the show was crazy, and I saw this happening, and I'm like, I don't even want to pay attention. It's like there's things that go past me now because I want them to go past me. Like any news about Trump, I'm like, who gives a fuck? But this one was too good. It was fucking way too good. So everybody's aware of QAnon, this crazy rat bastard group of fucking religious psychos that think that Jesus Christ is going to come down himself and kill Joe Biden, and then probably butt fuck him before he dies. Yeah, you know, like it's the weirdest shit. They're the pizza people. Like, eating babies in restaurants.
Cabal, drinking babies' blood.
And every month or so, this organization called QAnon, which is run by a guy named Jim Watkins, who is a Nebraska pig farmer who's hiding out in Thailand. 100% true story. Farmer. Yeah, he's a pig farmer. All the pig farmers are weirdos. Wow. So
yeah.
This
he
guy
sold his pig farm, but he did start out as a pig farmer.
Oh yeah. So this guy, Jim Watkins, tells everybody on the first day of November, or was it second day of November? Yes, November the 2nd.
Yeah.
At the very spot where JFK was murdered, assassinated by Lee Harvey Oswald. If you believe that, I don't give a fuck. JFK Jr., his son, was going to come back from the dead 22 years after plunging into the fucking ocean. And he was going to rise from the dead at that spot.
Mm-hmm.
And he and Donald Trump were going to be on the presidential ticket. And it was going to be a Trump-Kennedy ticket with a dead guy. But he was coming back to life yesterday. Now, if you think I'm making this up, I want you to look at Dealey Square. Dealey Square is in Dallas by the Book Observatory, and that's where QAnon told these fucking psychos that John F. Kennedy Jr. was going to come back from the dead.
Still going.
Look at this. Look at it.
It is almost 12:29. Any minute now, the big reveal. The crowd is big, ready to go.
Yeah.
That was at 12:30. That was the assigned time. No one showed up. JFK Jr. nowhere to be seen because, strangely enough, he's in the ground and he's been there for 22 years because he's really super fucking dead. That didn't stop people at 12:45, calling other news outlets that were literally filming these crazies, waiting for a dead guy to come to life, legitimately, talking about how other people are fake news. This is.
We'll tell nothing but the truth. It'll help them God. Or should I say help them Satan? Let's go fake news. Let's go fake news. Let's go fake news. Yeah.
No, he's with WFA. You're not the mainstream media. I'm going to see that fully owned by a Canadian corporation. So, you know, when you got full control over that, it's like, what?
All of those people are dunking on that camera guy while they're waiting for JFK Jr. to come back to life.
After
So how did they
22
feel when he
years,
didn't show up?
after 22 years to come back to be the vice
Does the
president.
cameraman just walk
Let's
around
keep
like
that in
this
mind.
after? We're like, you guys are fucking crazy. How about
If
fuck
you
yourself?
haven't watched the documentary on QAnon,
Yeah.
it's on Netflix.
Incredible.
It's called Into the Storm. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It is amazing. It was
My
so
brother-
well done.
We're
Who I'm
doing
estranged from is full QAnon. Full QAnon. He's fucking
Wow.
crazy. It's crazy as the day is long.
What
There's
do you
a
mean?
lot
Like he
of
buys this stuff? Like he believed it? Would he
Oh.
be at that parade? He would have been there waiting for.
A hundo P. Yeah. If there was something like that anywhere around where he lived and stuff, he's all over that. He's a hundo P QAnon.
Why do
Believe
you
it.
not engage with this guy? Do you know how much fucking great content we could get out of your
Are you
crazy brother?
following him on
Yeah.
Facebook or
No.
anything like that?
No, he's not. He's on Facebook, but I haven't spoken to him in years.
Sorry if I'm being
Wow.
rude, but
No.
I would love to talk to him because I want to know.
Yeah.
Like, we've talked
Yeah.
to. I've tried to talk to a couple of people from QAnon. We get notes from them all the time, going, "Yeah, you're lucky that I'm still going to be on your side when it goes down." And I'm like, "What the fuck is going down?"
I've tried, Dean.
incredible.
I've tried to get more than a couple to come on
And they won't.
on
I
the
can get
locker
you a
room.
few people. I've got friends that are full QAnon. I got two people.
wanna
that
talk
send
to
me
'em.
shit every single day and tried to convince me
Yeah.
to come back over to the dark side. Not that I was ever there, but we've talked about. I've golfed with this one guy, and he is like he's hardcore. And I could literally send you 50 videos that he sent me over the past 2 months. That
So what is he?
is
Can
trying
I
to
ask you a
convince-
question? Does he not think that, like, if he's an active QAnon member, does he not think that the reality that everybody else lives in is real? Like, does he legitimately think that?
He thinks we're all fucked up, or
Oh,
the
okay,
people that
Well,
Yeah,
the
totally.
basis of
we're
their
the problem, not them.
what they hang their hat on, Dean, is that nothing's real.
Mm.
Everyone and every institution has been lying to us forever. The problem is they every once in a while they'll hit on something that is actually the truth,
Mhm.
right? And unfortunately, we live in a world
That's
where we are constantly lied to. Right. We may not know it now, but down the road we are going to be. And so what they've done is they've just gone so extreme. And then I think there's people behind the scenes of the QAnon organization that are good at creating these sort of these breadcrumb trails that lead to things that are right.
Yeah, they're called
And
Q
so they-
drops. Yeah.
Q
Q-drop.
drops.
Yeah.
They keep people engaged, and every
Yeah.
once in a while they do hit on something that is right, or for whatever reason, and then they just keep moving the goalposts. It's amazing to me. Like, they'll just go online and they'll go on their 4chan fucking chat boards after this Dallas thing was a fiasco, and they'll somehow justify it.
They
They'll
got the
find
date
some-
wrong. That's the new one, and it's not a new one because they use it all the time. Every time a date goes by,
Of
and
course.
Joe Biden doesn't get castrated in public, and Kamala Harris doesn't get decapitated, and people aren't frog marched onto the White House lawn to the point where when you go and ask them, and this is a fucking great clip, when you go and ask them, like, what's the deal? They're like, we don't understand it. We just believe it. Watch
Trump
this.
Kennedy 2021. What does that shirt mean?
I think that JFK Jr. is still alive.
The guy who died in the plane crash in the late 90s? You think he's still alive?
I do.
And he's going to come back and be president with Trump this year?
I hope so.
But how would Trump become president this year? There would be a new election?
There's a lot of things I think have happened, and there's some things I think I know, and a lot of things I don't.
Okay. And one thing you do know is John F. Kennedy Jr. is still alive?
That's what I believe.
Okay. Do you want to bet? Do you want to bet on it? I'll bet $100 that JFK Jr. doesn't come back from the dead. to do it.
But I don't think he's dead.
Oh, okay.
I'll
bet $100 that he's not alive.
But I
You bet 100?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it.
Great.
Okay.
Sweet.
He got $100 after that.
Awesome. Yeah, he sure did.
If not, he's got a court case.
I would have paid to be like, when like the crowd starts to disperse and they're all sad and they're like, it didn't happen again. Why doesn't it ever happen? And he tells me, I would have paid to like be in that throng of people walking back to the parking lot just to
That's
listen.
where you got to start interviewing him.
Right?
The thing is,
what happened?
Like, I keep saying,
hey,
this.
what happened?
Yeah, right? That's a perfect what happened right there.
I keep saying, listen, we got huge problems. And I don't, and as much as I enjoy the fact that we can poke fun at this stuff and watch this, it does really bother me that there is this level of extreme fucking craziness. That is a lot of people. Does that not bother you guys on some level?
This is why I said yesterday about the cults and about the cult mentality. And our next podcast, our next one's going to be on cult mentality, QAnon stuff. And diving into how these guys operate and why they operate the way they do, and the psychology behind it. And that's coming up. We're working on it. There's a lot of clips and stuff I have to.
Yeah,
post,
they do stuff like prepare for their Sheeple Shepherd podcast because it's like a brainy one, right? So yeah, we have bullet points and then we go, let's see what happened.
Wow, why do you think it was such a big deal when we did the live show the other night? It was the first time we've ever done that.
Yeah.
So no, this one needs.
He prefers we use the throw it against the wall and see if it sticks mentality.
Yeah, we'll see what
I don't have a
bring
panel
Bonzi
like this.
on so we can bring up some fucking unintended content. Like, hey guys, have I told you I got 3 balls?
I don't know.
And that's a conspiracy for some people. Will think you're like the golden child. Maybe you're who Q sent.
Yeah,
maybe.
Look for a guy with a skullet and 3.
Well, it's almost like the guy. It's like the
He's
Christian
in Palm
guy.
Desert.
Who's the fucking clown in the States? There's a big guy down, Pat Robertson.
Yeah,
he's like,
he's a food bucket guy.
I've spoken to God. Okay, on this date, this is going to happen, and then it never happens. Oh well,
and they still send him money.
Send me more money. Send me more money, and I'll talk to God again. And he's got a new date, and this is the same thing. You know,
I know,
like,
and part of me is like, to Locke's point where he's like, doesn't it bother anybody? I'm like, no, because the content's fucking out of this world. Like, where are you going to fucking find a woman like this to talk
Trump
about
Kennedy,
JFK Jr.
2021.
being dead?
What does that shirt mean?
Seriously.
I think that JFK Jr. is still.
Like, where are you going to find that? She thinks JFK Jr. is still alive, and she's traveled. She's traveled to Dallas for it.
That woman has a job. She cuts hair. She drives a car. She pays taxes. She has kids. She's raising her moronic kids to believe this shit. This does not bother you.
No.
This is
It just keeps going.
It's too funny. It's too funny. And because it can't bother. Dumb isn't winning because they're isolated. They're just in these little fucking things. Like, dude, every time we see them gather for something that doesn't happen, I live for that. Like, dude, did you not see those people standing around, grown-ass adults with driver's licenses and jobs going, it's probably going to happen any minute.
He's coming. He's coming.
What's going
on? They also were saying that Dale Earnhardt was there. Somebody saw a guy in a mask and said, is that Michael Jackson? And then all of a sudden it became, that's Michael Jackson. Not from one person just asking. that whole group of groupthink. It's like telephone, but for the mentally fucking challenged.
Yeah.
Is that Michael Jackson? Now it's Michael Jackson. They thought Robin Williams was there.
Yeah.
And why the fuck would Robin Williams want to be anywhere near you people? He was like one of the most liberal people in the world. You know, like it was any famous dead person. All the famous dead people were coming back.
Yeah, dead people parade.
They were going to go to the Stones concert that was happening in Dallas because somebody said it's going to happen at the concert now instead. Yeah. So there's people lining up outside of the fucking concert venue, waiting for John to show up.
You know,
With
and
Donald
the
Trump.
amazing part of this is how much money that Q generates from those flags and shirts and all the stuff that people are
God.
I'm like, if I knew it was that easy just to tell people crazy shit and get them to send me money, I would have started doing that a long fucking time
It
ago.
is though, and this is where the dilemma comes in.
Is this a
The
good time
actual
to
moral.
promote my hat?
This is where the moral merch dilemma comes in, and should I or should I not
Look at how good that looks.
go out and use, because we're kind of smart, right?
Yeah.
So being like having a bit of brains in our heads and knowing how business operates, why can't we go do it? Because we're morally not that way. We're not wired to fuck people over like that. But you're right. Smart. Imagine being fucking genius and doing this. You'd have the whole world wrapped around your fucking finger.
Yeah,
That
it's
hat
awesome.
fits your head like Tommy Boy's Chris Farley's jacket and Tommy Boy does.
Fat
Point.
guy in a little hat.
That's the point. And I'll keep bringing it up because I'm hurt.
Sorry, didn't mean to hurt
Sorry,
you.
Locke.
I'm hurt by that hat. New shirt though. Oh, just saying. The one that fits real nice. The Positive
What a
Mike's
nice shirt.
Movember shirts.
It looks great. You look great. I don't have a problem with that hat either. It's just a terrible quality hat that Lachlan's selling. That's all.
Listen.
Could have got a better.
It's
hat.
not a great hat.
No.
At least you finally admit it.
I've admitted it. I have one. It fits me fine because I got more of a bean head than Ryan. But yeah, they're horrible hats. They're cheap, and to get one, it's going to cost you $45. But if you buy one, thank you, because we drink the profits.
Hold it. That hat cost you $45, right?
It
Kate,
did.
No, Kate, listen,
It-
you're opening
no,
up.
no. Excuse me.
The
I'm
guy
the one
we
who
work
bought it.
with.
I'm
Yeah.
the one who bought it.
You fucked a guy we work with.
It
for
was
$45 for a
$29.99.
$3 hat.
It was $29.99.
$25. There's tax, and then there's like
Shipping.
$11 or $12 shipping because
You
you
thought
live in
I was a
Ontario.
cheapskate, Dean. Holy fuck.
Why
Locke
is
just
it's
took
Locke?
the fucking championship
frozen.
trophy off me for
Did he
cheapskate
really?
of the
Oh,
show.
Yeah, he is the cheapest here by far. He says he's frugal. He's a cheap fuck. That's what Lachlan is.
I
Just
don't
weasel my
have
way into
anything to do with this
$500 of
company. I
Bitcoin.
get them. I send them a design. They put it on shit and sell it, and then they send me a check every 6 months, and I drink it.
all $30.
I love
Like
the
I
honesty.
like I told you though, next time just call me up. I'll transfer you $30 and I'll have Ashley kick me in the nuts.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll be great. Same thing. And it happens
By the
faster.
way, that
Get
best
rid of the
summer
middleman.
ever question mark hat is the backdrop of every one of your podcasts now. So
It's not
I
bad.
know.
at least, yeah, it's doing that. It's doing something.
Next to an
Lachlan,
Tiger Cat
I
hat from
hate
the
it so
CFL,
much that I love
a
it.
league
That's
that
why.
might not be
I know
around
you
in
do.
2 years.
I know you do. I know.
Yeah.
Next hat, I'm going to charge 50.
Let's end. Of course you will, because it'll be a better quality hat than that piece. of
Lachlan's
shit.
the next Chris Sky.
Let's end with another hat. You guys
hat?
like this? No, it kind of ties everything together. We'll send everybody off with a smile and something to think about. If you're married,
Is this to fix my marriage that I broke today?
boom. Yeah. This video came to us courtesy of Rookie, our head producer, head of production here at DeanBlundell.com. He sent this to me last night. He's like, should I post it? I'm like, right fucking now. It's the best thing I've seen all day. It's a fella who is wearing a Batman mask slash hat while he's on the toilet. And
He's always on the toilet, too. Every video I've seen of him, he's on the toilet.
Every video, this guy is taking a shit. But he's got some advice for married people, and it's some
What a
food for
niche.
thought as you take off throughout your
It's
day.
so bad. This
It's
is so
so
bad.
bad.
To know what's the secret to a long, healthy marriage? And I would have to say, taking a dump when your wife's in the shower.
I heard her. She's like, wow.
Stop. I heard that yesterday on my phone, but now that I have cans on,
Yeah.
and it's fucking
aggressive.
rich
Yeah,
and
it's
robust.
It's graphic.
That's
Yeah.
bad.
First off, he should, if he wants to save his life, he may want to get a look at his diet. Because
just
whatever
gonna say,
happened
It
in
looks
that
like he's
toilet
holding his little
was
penis in his hand,
violent.
too. I think it's about the same size.
You know what I love about him is he's prepped for it. He's got a little mini microphone. He's got a Batman hat on, and he wants to give people some relationship advice. And the other thing I love about this, as Ryan's right at the end of it, or maybe it was Locke, he's like, here the wife's like, really?
Wow.
So, what's the secret to a long, healthy marriage? And I would have to say, taking your wife's in the shower.
He dropped that microphone at the perfect time, too. Boom. He was right down there and caught every last second of that.
I'm telling
you. What?
If you're watching this and you have access to headphones or like a really nice stereo, you have to listen to that in stereo, because holy fuck, is that ever good?
Do you guys do that in front of, like, I wrote a piece about this. I was so compelled by that little video. I'm like, I got to write a piece about this. And it was about whether or not you do that in front of your spouse. I could never do that. I never did that in front of anybody I've been in a relationship with. And I'm not a romantic guy, but to me, not taking a jump in front of your spouse.
I don't know if that necessarily translates into romance, Dean.
We literally have literally have separate bathrooms in this house. Like Ashley and I've never actually used the facilities in her bathroom, and she's never used the facilities in mine.
But do you fart in front of your wife? Do you fart in front of her? No. She fart in front of you?
But not. Yeah, but it's not. She's
not walking up to you going, "Hey, pull my finger."
No,
like greasing one in your face on the way to the kitchen.
No,
you're on the couch. No.
My wife yesterday asked me, "What's in the Safeway bag, Locke?"
Sorry, Bonzi, what were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say, if you guys, we've all been married at one point or another. Locke's still married. Ryan is, but you go like to Mexico or something, or Dominican, and you've got maybe drank too much, had a bit of spicy food, and you're in that bathroom. Like, she's got like
that's different.
Yeah, but is it though? Like,
that's medical.
But here's the thing: you can have some bad food. You go to Mexico, you get Montezuma's Revenge. You go into the bathroom.
What he just
you don't go into
medical.
the bathroom when your wife's in the shower. Well, his wife's in the shower. This dude goes into the bathroom to grease a huge shit. Like, that is not the kind of thing that I've ever thought of doing.
Is the best way to describe what he did in there.
I think I've probably done that in my past, to be honest. I'm pretty sure.
Of course you have. Bonzi, I would have to drink for 4 days straight to have a nasty shit like that. That was awful.
So, what's the secret to a long, healthy marriage? And I would have to say, taking a dump when your wife's in the shower.
Wow. It's not the first time he's done it. That's why. It's like, is she like, if I did that in front of my wife, she'd scream. And this guy's wife was like, wow.
Praying. That was like, he covered the
showered.
That's a void.
It was a what do you call it? Like a fire sprinkler. Yeah, like when the fire sprinklers turn on, it's instant and it's everywhere.
Yeah. So don't do that.
A lot of broccoli lately and stuff, and the vegetables. And I was on the phone with my buddy the other day. Thank God we weren't FaceTiming, but I was on the pooper while we were talking, and I had to mute it at the perfect time because it was ready, and it went like almost like that sound, and I was like, "Thank fuck I muted that."
I've done that. I've done that working from home for the last 2 years.
I've actually done that with 2 of the 3 of you. So, but mine's not that loud. Mine's way more together than that.
Yeah.
Well, when you mic it up, like that microphone he had sounded like it was pretty decent.
I've been on the phone with Dean. I've caught him pissing.
Mm-hmm.
Dean's had he urinated one night when we.
Dude, I was on the phone with a female the other night, and because of the life that we all live, right, is like walk from the couch over to the bathroom, continue the conversation, have a bowel movement, a void, if you will. And flush the toilet, didn't think of anything. And it was funny because I was talking to this person and she was talking, and I go to flush the toilet and I'm like, yeah. And she stops talking. And she's like, did you just
that's where you got to
flush the toilet, dude? And I'm like, yeah, I did. Totally did. She goes, did you go to the bathroom when you were talking to me? I go, yeah, number 2.
Honesty is the best.
But what's
policy.
The difference if you're talking to her not taking a poo or
there. No, but she wasn't there in person. That's
so
the thing.
There is a huge difference between being on the phone with someone and dropping a load, Gronk and then doing it in the room with them while they're washing their hair.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's smell.
Babe, don't mind me, babe.
Honestly, there's particles flying around that guy's
That
bathroom
smell
right now. Too.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that was
Especially with the hot
violent.
steam from the shower.
Violent.
Just magnifies.
Oh yeah, the steam in the shower
particles.
like makes
Oh,
it kinda
that's why the
hang,
fart
Yeah.
shower smells
Heavy.
so bad because
Yeah.
of the heat, right?
Yeah.
right? Oh, those are the worst.
Unreal.
Yeah.
I've had to get out of the shower before. I've had
Oh,
to go
sometimes I've gone
do a
in the
thing and you're
shower
like,
before. Live in Nicaragua, bro, and you get Montezuma's revenge. Sometimes it just comes out pure fire liquid out of your ass right down the drain.
thank you for that. We know how diarrhea works. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
But couldn't even
Bonzi.
make it out of the shower. That's all I'm saying.
No, yeah, I know. I got it. You said it. That's all I'm saying.
Great show, guys.
What
We
do
know
you
how-
do?
we know how
You push
something
it
works.
down the drain with your foot? Like I've never
There's no
shit in
pushing,
the
dude. It's
shower.
all like it's pure liquid.
All right. I got to eat dinner in a minute. Thank you. Thank you very much. That is Bonzarelli. You can follow him wherever he changes his social tags to tomorrow.
Yeah, let us know next week what the
Yeah.
new one is.
Yeah. At Bonzi16, Tripping with Bonzi. You got a podcast tonight and a good one. Jeremy Taggart, former drummer from Our Lady Peace, and I believe he's got a podcast as well, a big podcast with Jonathan Torrance, correct?
He does at Taggart and Torrance. You can find them there. Yeah, it's a great pod. Really fun.
Yeah, you've been friends
That's
with him for a
Jonathan
long
Torrance.
time, right?
Yeah,
I've
quite
never
a while.
found
yeah.
them funny. I don't get. Am I not the like? We can talk about this, but I've tried because I like both of them. But
It's a
what is
personal
it?
thing. I don't know. I haven't listened to it, but they do
Yeah, I
very
haven't heard
well.
it yet either.
Very well attended podcasts, and there's funny
Yeah,
guys,
it's
smart guys,
huge, but-
good guys. Yeah.
I kept tuning in, trying to figure out what it was about it, and I mean, I don't know. There are people that won't listen to my show because they don't get my sense of humor. So
there you
See,
go.
I love Jonathan. I've always loved Jonathan Torrance. Like when he's like is on Trailer Park Boys,
Park
Mr.
Boys.
D,
Park Boys, yeah,
Letterkenny. Like
Yeah.
he's fantastic. But I'm gonna have to check this out and see what.
let me know what you
about.
think, Ryan, because I'd be curious.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. So Taggart and not Taggart, not
Jeremy's
Torrance,
great
Taggart,
chat,
right?
though.
Jeremy's
Just
just
Taggart
great.
tonight.
it was
Yep.
a great chat. That'll be a good pod.
And
Yeah,
that'll be
thanks,
Tripping
guys.
with Bonzi, and that'll be at YouTube. You can go check it out. We'll also be broadcasting that live here at it's Dean Blundell and dblundell.net, I think. I think it's the D
Yep,
Blundell
.net.
net account. Yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
anymore. Facebook, it'll be on Facebook, IG, all that stuff. So there you go.
Fonzie might have changed the name of that one too, though. We don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's called something else now.
Tell us
Just
tomorrow.
all tripping with Bonzi.
Okay, Tripping with Bonzi.
The new pod,
Ryan Lindley.
shitting with your girlfriend.
Ryan Lindley. You can, Ryan Lindley. At Sheeple Shepherd. Next podcast is on cults and why you should join them. Is that correct?
Yeah, cults, QAnon, and where to send your money,
All right.
and empty your bank accounts, and
I
prep
need a
for the
new
end of the
plane.
world. Yeah.
All right.
Actually, or I'll be on Bonzi's show, Highest Tits Tonight, when his guest backs out. It'll be great.
Every week. Yeah, it happened last week. Oh, yeah.
You
he
were
was
big, Lindley.
That
Oh,
was one
was
day.
he ever Gunner? Do you have a picture of that?
No, I did in yesterday saying I'll go get it and we'll have him on back
Yeah.
tomorrow. We'll embarrass him with pictures of him going like this.
He
It's
was
okay.
sideways, fucked up.
I was
my
on the
show.
couch. I couldn't even make it to here to come and talk to
You
him.
had that
I
Joker
I like
shitty grin.
actually get me my headphones and my phone, and
Dean-
I'll call Bonzi from here. And what it was, I've got the same thing Locke has. I've got that upper respiratory infection thing
Yeah.
happening, and it's been here for like 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
And at night I can't sleep, so I've switched to it's Neocitrin, and every once in a while I'll grab like a weed gummy, and I don't take them very often. So when I
They
take one,
knocked the fuck out of me.
He was
Holy
on
fuck.
a different planet.
I don't even remember doing the show, Bonzi, if that tells you anything. And then I saw the pictures the next morning, and I was
Citron knocks me on my
Was he fucked, Bonzi?
Fucked. Like you see him here, he's very
Was.
intelligent, speaks well, eyes are open, he's got a big smile on his face. On this
Yeah.
one, it was like this.
Yeah, that's
I was-
exactly
I was like,
Yes.
you know when
He
somebody
couldn't
puts a
keep his
puppet,
eyes
you know when somebody
open.
puts a puppet from Sesame Street on a chair without a hand in it? That's
Yeah.
what I looked like.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
God,
true.
Dean! I'll tell a quick story. Dean and I got invited onto this nerd podcast on the Dean Billadell Podcast Network. This was when the WandaVision was out in the winter time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they wanted people that weren't huge nerds on to talk about it, right? Which is great, right? So they had Dean and I on, and I came on 6, 7, 8 deep. And Dean came on, and he had just smoked a bowl.
Massive.
And the two of us took over the nerd podcast.
It was incredible.
And the three of them sat there and watched Dean and I for about 30 minutes. We just completely
talk about the show at all?
Just fucking rode the thing into the ground, made fun of nerds and their fucking and this stupid show.
Oh,
Dean was
we just
baked and I was
launched the show
drunk.
too. It was like a massive nerd show, and we just launched it, and I was really excited for it. And we get on, and as soon as Locke pulls up his profile, I'm like, that guy's fucking hammered, and I just smoked a massive bowl. So this is going to be a lot of fun. But they were gracious.
I felt bad. I called Dean the next day, and I'm like, dude, we totally took over that podcast. You were stoned. I was drunk. He goes, I know. And they loved it.
I know.
Of course.
It was a lot of fun. They had a great time.
Do we still have it somewhere? Can we see an archive of that?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
You know what else we
Dean
have?
was on the couch like this, and he had the.
I did the whole show laying down.
That was me.
Oh, I know.
That was me on Monday.
No light. He was just on the couch.
Here's
God.
Before we leave, Bonzi's testicles. There you go.
Thanks, honey.
Oh, if that's not a trip to the emergency, I don't know what is.
That is such a heap you have going down there. I know this is blurred, but you need medical attention. There's some redness that bothers me. Yeah, it looks like you know what it looks like? It looks like an aborted fetus that you got down there.
You know what
That's
it looks like? It looks like you brained your nuts.
I did.
And not done. Can't sewer Bonzi without putting this picture of
there he
is.
is.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Look
at how fucked he was.
Look at that.
Toast.
Look at that.
Wonderful.
You look
good for you, Linda.
Goose. That's awesome.
Thanks for joining.
Done.
Thanks, boys.
All right, that was a
great
good one.
to see you all. That was a great laugh. That is Lachlan Cross, 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton.
What a show.
At Lachlan Cross on Twitter. That is my friend Greg Bonzi, the great Bonzi, the three-nutted wonder. You can find him on YouTube tonight at Tripping with Bonzi.
He's off to the rodeo.
Fucking jerk. Piss me off. Got on my nerves. Well, here comes Bonzi with Pecker in his hand and his one-ball man. He's off to the rodeo. Look at that. There's his nuts again.
Three-ball man.
Just for fun.
I'm
thanks,
available
Bonzi.
for hire, by the way.
Yeah, right. And Ryan Lindley.
Like a balloon animal.
Do you know what I figured? I figured this. Ryan Lindley, Sheeple Shepherd at Ryan Lindley on Twitter. And I'll leave you with this. I figure, you know those like anti-abortion signs that people put up? The really gross ones?
Bring that.
Exactly what this is.
Yep.
I wonder if that would get me any fans or get me anywhere on OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
You know, I'm the three
balls?
Are you
on
kidding me?
Fans. Dude, do you know how many freaks out there that are body mod freaks that are like, yeah, I want to look at the three nuts?
Just came up with a golden ticket idea right there.
Find some chick with webbed feet to step on them and stuff, and you're a millionaire within a month.
Three-ball wonder on OnlyFans.
Ryan, you might be even more fucked than him after hearing
I
that.
know.
Yeah. Have a great day, guys. Appreciate it.
See you, Dean.
Thanks.
Good to see you all. Lachlan,
Good
Ryan.
to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see Bonzi. Good to see his three testicles. Good to see you here too. That was a lot of fun. Thanks to everybody for being here today. Really appreciate it. If you took part in the podcast, you joined us on the comment section. You can find us if you're listening to us on a podcast, audio podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You can find us on YouTube. I think we launched it like a few months ago. So it's fun. Watch it live, comment, swear at us. Not a lot of that today, which was kind of nice. But I don't care. But that's where you can find us. Also on Twitch, Dean Blundell TV on Twitch. And I think that's it. Thanks to our friends and sponsors over at EdsFineImports.com. EdsFineImports.com. He's got Gitch. He'll sell you Gitch. Boxer briefs, luxury, made in Canada. You got to get them. He'll send them to you. 4 pairs for the price of 3 when you use promo code Gitch3. Order them today. Again, Ed's Gitch, clothing for men and boys. They got a ton of stuff. Great online store for guys. That's where I get my stretchy jeans and my Gitch, Gitch, then the number 3. That's your promo code. Use it. I'll send you a free pair when you order 3 today. edsfineimports.com. Hi to our friends at Easy Auto Financial, helping you get into a car. Really tough to find financing sometimes, especially now. It's really hard to get the car that you want and get the deal that you want. They do all of it. Go and sign up, see what they have to offer, give them a shot, let them get you a car, let them get you your financing, and let them take care of all the details. Go to easyautofinancial.ca. Again, easyautofinancial.ca. And as if that weren't enough, thanks to our friends at Envision. If you're looking to do some back-end work, if you want to know how to do this stuff, if you want to figure out what your analytics mean, you got a website you want to build, if you're looking to drive business, generate engagement, envision.co, envision.co. That's it for us. Have a great day, everybody. Appreciate you. I know you appreciate us, or you might not. Doesn't really matter, because we're going to be back here doing this again tomorrow. All right. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. Bye.